Hello, everyone out there on YouTube, and welcome back for the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series live tonight from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We got the Las Vegas 150 tonight. Qualifying is wrapping up right now. Just as we go live, Josh Adams goes to the top of the board with the 30:49. We still have 2 minutes to go, but he did knock RC off the pool, so that's probably a good idea that's going to stay in the top 3 or 4. Tonight, I am joined in the booth by Nick Massey, as always, and we have Jacob Adams with us tonight. Ryan Gavel back as producer again. We had to spend a couple weeks without him there. As you're looking at Harrison Talion. Looks like starting his lap there, coming off the 4. What are you expecting to see tonight, Nick? You expecting green runs, lots of cautions, lots of wrecks?
I don't know. It's good to be back. Hopefully the race was good last week without me. But yeah, I don't know. Night race at Vegas. Looking at the stats from last season, looks like Chad Frankenfield came home with a win at the end of last season. I don't know. Looking at our entries here, I know every time we talk to him, he says he's only running part-time, but I think Garrison Hogan's going to be the one to watch out for. I'm going to call it now, because every week that he's been in here, I have not picked him, and tonight I'm going to go with that pick, because every time I haven't picked him so far, he's gone out and won the race, so maybe the announcer's jinx tonight, but I don't know. What do you think, Jake? Brother sitting at the top of the board, did you give him any pointers?
I don't think Josh needs any pointers from me, but I'm expecting a pretty green flag race here tonight, night race at Las Vegas. It looks like there's a lot of grip out there, so hopefully these guys use their heads and stay straight.
Yeah, I think, Nick, he said he was running part-time, but that goes away really fast if you start winning, and he won that race there, and then he won another one. I fully expect we'll see him make the time to try to make every race from here on out. Matthew Weeks just jumped up to second right there, but Josh Adams is going to be on the pole. He's going to line up there beside Matthew Weeks, R.C. Enerson, Joseph Cossey, and Trevor Elam. Real quick before we get going here, I want to give a shout out to all our sponsors, everybody that helps make this thing happen, everybody at Elite Racing Network, the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series, premier sponsor, everybody at C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, Powerhouse Recycling. Takes a lot of people to help make this thing go around, and of course we got to give a shout out to Chad Frankenfield and all he does for Elite every week. Every week there's somewhere between 3 to 6, 7 races, sometimes 2 each night. So, like we do every week here, Nick and Jake, this week, who is y'all's pick to win tonight?
Like I said, I'm going with Garrison Hogan. Last time he missed qualifying tonight, it looks like. So last time he did that, we saw him drive to the front and take the win at Michigan. So I don't know. Looking to do the same here tonight. I'm hoping he does, because I'm picking him.
I'm going to go somebody a little outside the box that we don't talk about a whole lot. Just catching up on the broadcasts that I do watch while I'm away. Somebody that always seems to be up near the front, the 9 car, Jay Kaner. Let's see how he runs tonight.
I will go ahead and I'll take the pool sitter tonight. I'll take Josh Adams. He's running the In Pursuit podcast car there with Steven and myself. That's a little podcast we got going on, and so I'll pick the car that took the time to put a sponsor on there that I'm affiliated with. So I'll go with Josh Adams tonight.
And if you haven't gotten a chance to give that a listen, it's really some good stuff. I gave the last episode a listen, and you guys do some good work there.
But one thing I will say is RC is always fast. We always talk about Weeks and how fast he is every week. We talk about Rucker. Rucker's going to roll off 9th here. Jeff Green in the C2 Freight machine is going to roll off 8th. Chad with the bad qualifying run. You don't see that very often. He's going to come from mid-pack.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Tyler Fode back there too. We usually see him up there in top 5 qualifying. Missed it a little tonight. Starting 13th, not terrible, but it's gonna have some work to do.
I am sure they will figure it out. All three of us made picks tonight, and none of us picked RC, so we'll see what happens. Pace car is off. Green is out, and Josh Adams is gone. Good jump there on the front row for Josh. Gonna leave the battle there for second place. RC and Weeks side by side down into one. There's a lot of bumps down here on the bottom of 1 and 2. The top line is usually the preferred line right through here. Looks like Weeks is going to get the run there off of 2. Get down here to 3 and 4. RC is going to try to get around him. I think Weeks is probably going to make this pass here, complete this pass on the front stretch possibly.
We've already got one car rolling in pit road here. Couldn't tell who that was.
Well, that's not what you want to be there. You do not want to be on pit road on the first lap.
Just had some contact there with Rucker and Ethan. It looked like Rucker maybe overdrove the corner and got up into Ethan a little bit.
It looks like Ethan Reisner is rolling around very slow on the bottom side there on the apron as well. Chad already taken full, cutting the dog leg full through there down the front stretch, lap 2.
See, Josh has got a pretty good sized lead here for now. The battle looks like it's on for 4th between the 50 and the 9. Then 9 gets rid of the 50 pretty quick.
The next side-by-side's back here for 10th with Tooker making the pass on Trey Holmes.
That side-by-side didn't last very long there, did it? Nick, did you get a chance to go back and look at the broadcast from the Las Vegas race in this series?
I did not. Just looking at the results, so I saw Hogan sat on the pole. Frankenfield was the overall winner. Weeks had a good showing in that race as well. So, guess not too surprising. He's up there right now.
I was actually talking with the leader right now, Josh Adams, earlier, and we were actually talking about that last season's Las Vegas race, and he mentioned how he had it won. I feel like I think he dominated that race, and there was a late caution that happened during pit stops and kind of took it away from him. Josh is always somebody you want to watch out for when these races go green. He knows how to save his tires real good. As he's under fire for Matthew Weeks, he's right on his bumper into 1.
Yeah, and you can see Josh is running way up the track there, not running to run over any of those bumps. It already looks like this is way more racing than what we had last week there at Chicago. I know you missed it last week, Nick, but it seemed like it took them 20-25 laps before they could race at Chicago. It was kind of a single file parade until 20-25 laps into the run.
Yeah, we kind of got a little 4-car breakaway here for top 4 spots. Jay Kenner took a look right there on Causey for 3rd, just couldn't quite get there. It's tough to make that pass though, because you know once it starts to get single filed out a little bit like this, if you make a wrong move, you're probably going to lose a spot to the guy behind you. Get stuck in the wrong line. Can't arc the corner the way you want to.
What's really tough about the way Las Vegas races, you want to kind of be a line or 2 up in turn 1, and that's where you want to be, and then you get down to turn 3 and 4, and you really kind of want to just be around the white line, so it kind of just flips around. You're side by side with somebody maybe in the preferred group 1 corner and not the next.
If you had a preference, if you had to run side by side for multiple laps, would you rather be on the bottom or the top?
I'd probably rather be on the tops. I mean, you can roll the momentum down there. As we see, I believe that's the 64 making a pass on RC for 6th place, 5th place.
Yeah, he made that look pretty easy. I think RC might be just saving the tires there because Rucker just sailed by him on the bottom. Maybe these cars sliding around a little bit too now. But yeah, you know,
Maybe
you get single filed out, right in the middle of the top down here in 1 and 2. You see that bottom looks so inviting, with all that space they're leaving open down there. But you try to stick it down there, and you know, you end up in the wrong line, lose a couple spots.
RC's falling back because he doesn't want to be in the top 3. He doesn't want to come up here and talk to you, Nick.
Yeah, maybe not.
Remember the last time I was up here with you guys, back at Kentucky, Andrew Rucker started like 30th and drove up through the field, made it look pretty easy. He's here in the top 5, so see what kind of speed he's got to be up here with these guys. A lot closer to the front than that time.
Yeah, and I think Rucker would tell you that as well. You know, he's got to qualify better, do a better job qualifying. One thing of note here is Garrison Hogan started from the pits. He is a lap down.
It's like deja vu. What happened in Michigan?
See the 9 trying to make another move at the 7 there, and just going down through those bumps in turn 1, and it lost 3 car lengths. It's just not where you want to be. He's under fire from the 64 now.
Oh, Rucker's going to wash up a little bit there in the middle of the corner.
It kind of looks like the cars are a little tight right now, and then we get that, and they want to kick the back end around coming off the corners.
Just want to give a shout out. I don't know who painted Andrew Rucker's car, but this is a pretty slick looking Logitech G paint scheme he's running here. It's making it look good up towards the front too.
Yeah, lots of single file up here. Everybody kind of running in a line.
See, Matthew Weeks went right up by the wall that time in turn 1 to try and get a look at Josh, and didn't really work out too well. He came out about the same distance behind him.
Do you think we'll eventually move to the wall?
You can make speed up there. So, I mean, you can, but I don't know. Just at nighttime, super grip. I don't know. The bottom to the middle just seems like where you want to be right now.
Looked like Trevor took a look on the inside of Ethan Burrell there and lost a ton of speed there off of turn 2. It's going to let Fody take a look under him as RC is taking a look under Rucker as well. It just seems like you try to make a pass on the bottom, you don't make it work, somebody gets underneath you, they don't make it work either. It's kind of like a yo-yo effect almost. Just you don't get that guy and then somebody gets a chance at you. As I say that, Rucker is going to lose that spot to RC.
He wasn't able to get down in front of the 19. He might be vulnerable here in 3 and 4 from Tooker.
And one thing to keep an eye on tonight as well, you weren't with us last week, Nick, but we did get a chance to talk to Tooker. And Tooker and Crump had some more contact last week. So that rivalry might be going somewhere. So we'll have to keep an eye on that if Scott Crump and David Tooker get around each other.
So we got a battle for second here. The 7's going to make the pass on the 11. The 11 tried to go up and run the wall again, and it didn't really work out for him. Kazi was able to get by, and we'll see if he can't go up there and do anything with the 56.
Yeah, I thought Weeks was going to cross him over because I think the 7 got in there a little too hot, washed up a little bit, but Weeks just couldn't quite get back to him. Got another battle back here for 12. Got Crump. Thought he was going to maybe take a look on Trey Holmes, but couldn't quite get the run he wanted.
Ethan Burrell making the pass on the 19 of David Tooker. Looks like teammates working together. It looked like Tooker just went up and gave him the lane.
Ethan's been quietly working his way up there. He started 12th up to 7.
Josh Adams is starting to create a little bit of a gap.
We got a 3 wide battle for 27th back here. Josh Robin taking him 3 wide on the top at the line. Still 3 wide. Passed them both.
Up towards the front, RC's trying to move back towards the front. Drove up underneath the 9 car here. It doesn't look like he got it done quite yet down there in 3 and 4.
Man, Josh Robin's slicing and dicing back here. He just passed 2 more cars. It's 4 cars in 1 lap.
Ethan Burrell picking up another spot. Andrew Rucker now dropping back.
Yeah, teammate Tooker's going to try to follow him through. I don't think he's going to have the preferred line right here, though.
I almost wonder if starting this close to the front might be hurting Rucker. You know, starting mid-pack, you can't really attack. Maybe he started the race, you know, up here towards the front, attacking a little bit and wore it out a little bit.
Tell you, somebody that hasn't worn it out, go back to the leader in the 56. Josh is putting down some really fast lap times. He's been about a 10th faster than the field the last number of laps here. He's driving away.
Lots of close racing right now. Looks like Scott Crump's trying to get him Tyler Fody there. Had to check up a little bit mid-corner. Jeff Green's right there. Everybody from Rucker to Jeff Green is they're so tight right now.
Do you guys, I don't know about you guys, but I always felt like coming to Vegas, it's such a line-sensitive track. There's not much you can really do to save tires and make, you know, decent speed still. I think, you know, you got to kind of do the same thing as everybody else. I think if you're going to try to save tires, you're going to give up too much.
I think you can save tires anywhere. You gotta just. It took me a long time to learn how to save tires. I'll tell you that. Like I used to be one of those guys that would just attack, but you just kind of got to slow down a little sooner. You know, lift a little earlier. Try not to overwork the car in the middle with too much wheel. Try to just let the car slow down and fall in there. Give up a little bit on the short run. I mean, you saw Josh let him be right on his bumper for a long time, and then just all of a sudden Josh just started pulling away. I think they were working a lot harder to be there than he was working to be right in front of him. As David Tooker takes a look under Rucker, but he might lose a spot, maybe 2.
And just like we were talking about, you know, you try to make that pass on the inside, can't get it done. Might cost him a spot or 2 here.
And Scott Crump is now going to be right here, like Tyler
Maybe
Fody.
3.
This is what I'm looking forward to. I've not been able to wait all week to see what happens when these two get around each other.
Oh, he
there it
runs
is.
into him.
Wow!
Didn't even think about trying to race him.
You called it. There we go,
What a
3 wide
save.
underneath him.
What a save.
I think, you know, I think if Tooker, I mean, it's a long race. I don't know if I would have done it that early because there's still a chance that Tooker gets back to Crump, and I don't think that's going to turn out well. Take a look back at what happened here. First opportunity.
They are going over back and forth right now. What has happened to lead to this point for contact between the two of them?
Yeah.
And David Tooker is on record saying when he gets back to him, it's going to come back around. So we'll see maybe a late race restart, but Tooker's got a lot of damage to the rear end of that car.
And you say when you hit somebody, you want to make sure you end their race so they don't get back to you if you're going to do that. I mean,
Yeah,
I think Scott did it right. Like, it's to end his race, like, I think at a lot, 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a spin into the wall.
Well,
yeah,
I'll tell you. I mean, I think Scott's pretty lucky that Tooker held on to that, because if he spun that car around and collected some more cars, I think that would have been a pretty big, maybe even a vacation for Scott.
And
you talk about doing it right when you try and get somebody back. You want to end their race so they can't get back to you. But Scott Crump just junked his own front end, and he's probably not going to get back into this thing. He's going to be hurting the rest of the race, I think.
I will say this. I got to call it like I see it here a little bit. And, there was contact for Martinsville for a win. Scott Crump was leading the race late, and Tooker got into him, sent him way up out of the groove. And that's Martinsville racing, but you got to expect to get that back. And then there was contact last week again, and it was again Scott Crump getting into the back of, or David Tooker getting into the back of Scott Crump once again and getting turned sideways. I can totally see why Scott did what he did, and I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same thing.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see, because, I mean, usually when you do something like that, I don't think you really want to do it the first chance you get. I mean, you want to do it when they can't get back to you, and there's still 70 laps for that to come back and hurt Scott.
I think Scott's been waiting about 7 days to be able to do that.
We talk about when somebody hits you for a win, and you understand everybody wants to win, but then I would think Scott would want to come back and get David back when David's going to win a race, and not just a senseless lap 25 of a Las Vegas race, 75 laps to go, and hurt your car in the process.
I don't think it's over yet. I'm very excited. I look forward to seeing what we're going to see the rest of the year.
I'm looking forward to what we're going to see the rest of this race if they get back together. So I think Crump might sit in the catch fence of him, way Tooker was talking.
Yeah, and the scoreboard might be even in Scott's eyes now, but I don't think it's even in Tooker's eyes.
Oh, as somebody who drove before, right now Scott Crump's still behind on the scorecard. It's 2-1. He still owes him another one.
Hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for some rivalries down there.
While all that has went on, RC has moved into second place.
We got Ethan Burrell looking on Jay Canner for 5th. This race is going by pretty quick. We're already 1/3 of the way in. When are we expecting these guys to come down pit road?
I think they can run about another 20 laps or so, Nick. So maybe 55 laps or so, 50, 55, that range.
Is it a one-stopper? I want you to run the calcs. Go to Chris Wright's race notes.
Definitely you can do it on one stop, but they do have 3 sets laying in the pit. So at this point, if a yellow comes out, they'll get tires.
Let's see, who's our biggest mover so far tonight? It looks like 46 Barbary. I don't know. 6 of Zach Evans, 36 to 25th. Biggest mover so far, plus 11 spots. Barbieri actually just tied him, 11 spots. Not too far out there in front of him. But yeah, they're getting real spread out now. I mean, they were all packed up earlier, and now you see like packs of 2, packs of 3. Really see who's been able to take care of their tires.
Yeah, Josh Adams. RC did beat him that last lap, but only by a little bit.
A tight race here for 3rd.
I'm kind of surprised that Chad Frankenfield has not went anywhere since the start of this race. He's still back there. Fode's moved forward. Ethan Burrell's moved forward and Ethan Burrell's trying to move into the top 5 here.
Yeah, he's having a tough time making that pass on the bottom though. Just can't quite get it done down there. Fode's kind of been following him through the field. They started 12th and 13th, and they've kind of worked their way up there together, trying to crack the top 5.
Ethan just can't seem to keep the throttle down without getting sideways down on the bottom to get by that 9, and it's gonna cost him a spot, it looks like here.
The 9's going to squeeze to the outside of the 7. The 7 ran the top, but the 9 ran higher.
Oh, the 7's
got
gonna
contact.
turn the 9, head onto the inside wall. This should be our first caution, probably.
I'll have to take a look at that, see what happened. I don't know if 7 came up or 9 came down, mix of both. But man, I mean it's rough for
Man,
the
I
9
think
car
the
there,
7
having a good
came up
run.
and got him. Yeah, 7 just kind of came up and got him there.
Well, I apologize to Jay Kaner. The announcer's curse there got him right here.
I
Yeah.
do not think anyone is in the fuel window at this point. We are too far out of the fuel window. So this is a timely caution for some strategy to take place.
Yeah, looks like the 7 might have came up a little bit and got him, but that's rough for the 9. I mean, he's sitting back there 9th in points, just off of points, not wins. So I mean, he's close to that bubble, and this certainly isn't helping the situation.
Josh Adams has led every lap. He's going to bring the field down pit road here. Everybody coming to pit.
It almost looked like the racing that we're used to in the Cup car on this sim. The 7 tried to get up there and side draft and slow him down, but in the Xfinity car, that doesn't work on here. So I mean, he didn't have to be right up on his door like that. I would have probably just given that spot up and ran out the rest of this fuel window and passed him back later.
Well, looks like Adams couldn't get out of the box, had a slow stop, and lose the lead here.
Yeah, I think Josh also got into the box pretty slow compared to everybody else. I believe our lucky dog right there is going to be Ethan Reisner. So we'll see what happens with that.
The other thing to keep an eye on here too, I mean, we had a long green flag run. If this goes green to the end, I mean, it's going to be real close on fuel. They might be able to save it, but
Yeah, I don't think so. They're all going to be leaving pit road right there. They are about 6 short.
Tell you who didn't want to see
6
that.
or 8 short.
Who didn't want to see that caution was Garrison Hogan. Ethan Reisner had just gone a lap down. Garrison was wanting a quick caution there with starting from pit road and didn't get it, and it's gonna be an uphill climb for him to try and come up there and win it in the last 50 laps or so.
then the same thing with Josh Robin. I think he just came down pit road 3 laps before that caution came out. So I mean, I saw him flying, slicing and dicing back there for 25th, taking him 3 wide, and looks like he had some speed back there and just got caught with a bad caution.
Yeah, I just don't think you're going to save it.
CRC pushing the clutch in, not shutting it off though, which I think is the way to go if you got the control set up to do it. Man, I don't know. I mean, I think, man, I don't know. On tracks, if this were like Atlanta or Chicago or tracks with some more off throttle time, I think you could maybe save the fuel. But I don't think there's enough off throttle time here at Las Vegas to save 6 laps in a full fuel run.
Tell you, there's one guy coming back down here. I don't know if this is a strategy play by the 7 to come in and top off to try and make it if it goes caution free, but we can maybe he's repairing some damage. I'm not sure, but keep an eye on that 7. Has a little bit more fuel than everybody else.
Yeah, there's a group of guys that pitted there. We'll see what happens. Real quick before we get going back green here, I want to give a shout out to all the sponsors, everybody at the Elite Racing Network. This is the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series. Everybody at C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, and Powerhouse Recycling. Jeff Green, you know, we saw him just miss that 9 car when he spun back up. Jeff's running up in the top 10. For the first time tonight, we got a different car out front. We've got R.C. Enerson, Matthew Weeks, Josh Adams had a little bit of a slower stop there.
Yeah, this restart's bringing a lot of guys that we didn't really see up at the front to begin the race that are right here when the race is going to be won. The 40 and 37.
Oh man, I thought Rucker was maybe gonna look 3 wide back there for 7th, but yeah, I mean, judging by the way that run went the first time, you know, I think if you're gonna get a lot of positions, I think this is when you got to do it right off the start. He Crump blinking out a little bit back there.
You think he's trying to hide from Tooker?
Hey, I mean, if you're gonna blink, I mean, that's a good time to do it.
Josh Adams got through in the second. He's already hunting down the leader, R.C. Enerson, it looks like. Tooker trying to come back through some of these guys, getting around Jeff Green. Chad Frankenfield trying to follow him through.
Yeah, another guy up here that just cracked the top 10, Daniel Martinez, started 19th. Up to the top 10.
They got a battle for the lead.
Oh,
RC's going to come right up in front of him. Wow. RC did not want to let him get up there. It did not look like.
Yeah, you give up that top, it's pretty much game over. It's hard to defend. She's in the bottom.
Josh gets the lead back. Said, "This is mine. You can't have it."
yeah, we haven't seen anybody have anything for the 56 all night, so I think,
Oh, we got a spinner. It's Jesse Razumits. Oh, and the 9's going to aim right at him. What was that? Oh, and the 42 is going to come through and get involved as well.
Well, this changes everything. Do we come down and top off? I think they can make it from here if they come down and pit right here and just get the fuel.
Yeah, yeah, you can make it here from here.
See what happened to the 70s. Outside of the 12 of Isabella. Little contact. No, it looks like he got a little help.
And watch how late. Look at this 9 car. If we could take a look at this 9 car coming, the 9 car was on the bottom and then just kind of aimed right at him, and that created a problem for not only the 9 car, the 42.
Yeah, I think just sometimes you're expecting that guy to roll back down the hill.
I mean, I am not sure what Jay was doing there, what he was seeing. And here we go. We're going to ride on board with the 9 car. All right, you see the wreck way up here. Get slowed down. Not even slow. Like what? Yeah, that's just you can't do that. you've got to do a better job slowing down. Like that's a low IQ wreck avoidance right there.
Got a lot of takers on pit road. You got Rucker on pit road. Chad Frankenfield on pit road. A couple of our front runners coming down, topping off with fuel. Actually, some of them even took tires. Frankenfield took tires.
Yeah, but a lot of guys stayed out here as well. Like, I'm surprised, like Josh Adams and R.C. Ederson.
I'm surprised a lot of these guys took tires down here. I mean, there's only 4 or 5 laps on fresh tires. I don't know if I would have wasted a second set.
Yeah, I don't think it was a good move to use the tires. I don't know.
Well,
if it
I don't know,
goes
like,
green to the end,
you're giving up track position, so you might as well get the tires. Try to give yourself a chance to at least race back up through there.
Chris vouching for not saving a set of tires, huh? I've never thought I'd hear the day.
Well, lucky enough, they ran the start of this thing caution free, and you see right there, 300 RPM. He's off. He's coasting. Josh is saving. These guys are saving the fuel, saying, we could save this fuel under yellow.
Yeah, this one's going to put them close. I mean, they're going to be able to save a couple laps of fuel just under this yellow alone, so. Started out, 6 laps short? They might be 4 or 3 now.
yeah. If we've learned anything, our time being NASCAR fans watching NASCAR on Fox, learning from Larry Mack, we're gonna get about 1 green lap equals about 2 caution laps, so it's gonna be really close here for them.
Yeah, I would have probably pitted. Do we know what the first car that pitted was? The first guy off pit road? Is it Rucker in 22nd? So Rucker in 22nd.
Like it.
Yeah.
Chad Frankenfield in 23rd. Gave up a lot of spots, but man, if it runs green from here, if there's not another caution and this thing runs green, I think that's one of the winner pitted right there, in my opinion.
I think I like the call from Chad. He was running right around the top 10, outside the top 10. Wasn't really having a great night, so he's gonna try and do something a little bit different here to change his night around.
Yeah, I like the call.
Some guys run out.
Yeah, like I said, or like you said, I like the call if you're a little farther back. I don't think you can take the chance and pit if you're inside the top 10 right there. Give up the track position, risk getting in a wreck.
Yeah, but what if you're points racing? Some of these guys might be points racing. If you're points racing, you can't afford to run out of fuel with 3 or 4 laps to go at the end of this thing under green.
I think there's always the thing in the back of the mind that a lot of these guys know these races don't tend to always go caution free. So there's gonna be a caution. I'm certain of it here that everybody's just gonna get back on even tires, even fuel, and they'll have a proper race to the end. I can't ever imagine that yellow flag is gonna stay in the pocket.
Well, I think one big variable in that is how close is Scott Crump and David Tooker. It looks like they're a couple of rows apart. Restart goes the right way. 5-6 laps, we might be talking about another caution.
I'll tell you who else that last caution was big for. Garrison Hogan. He's back on the lead lap. I mean, still 49 laps left, so plenty of time for him to work his way up there. We'll see what happens, though.
Pace car's off, and Josh Adams is going. Gets a good jump. Weeks is going to be side by side with R.C. Ederson down here into turn 1. Weeks is going to get through in front of R.C. Tyler Fody is going to move up here into 4th. The race is back here where those guys pitted. Rucker and Frankenfield are trying to get through these guys in a hurry.
we see, we wanted to keep an eye on the 19 and the 90. That's where I'd be watching right now. The 19 is right on the bumper of the 90. We're about to see if it's going to come back around here.
Oh, boys, you guys got your popcorn ready? Oh, he's just sweeping back and forth on his bumper right now.
There's a little contact.
He's definitely letting him know he's there. Oh, he's going to hit him.
Turned him. Oh, but he saves it, and they're still going to be. Oh, they're 3-4
Oh, no,
wide.
they're going to crash Trevor Elam.
Crump's in it. Trevor's in it.
Man.
I think you got to give Tooker the blame for that.
Yeah, I'm all for getting people back, but I'm not all for getting people back and bringing people that have nothing to do with it into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say when he's pulling up to him, I mean, you can do it, but it's risky off a restart. Doesn't save it, and a lot of other people potentially get involved in that. And he did save it. It's just people trying to make the pass on them both and end up in a wreck.
Yeah, that's you know what this means, boys. This is going to continue for a while.
I think there was just a couple weeks ago there was a whole thing on Twitter about people not getting the respect they think they deserve on the track, and certain guys saying they're gonna start trying to do better themselves, and I believe the 90 was one of them. And if he was really gonna start doing better himself, he probably wouldn't have kept it going here. He would have just passed Tooker when he had the chance earlier, and just let his driving do the talking. Just past the 19, that should be enough for him.
Listen, from where we're
we got a lot of wrecked race cars out here for.
From where we're sitting, this was way better this way than it would have been if you would have just passed him. We need good rivalries. Scott Crump versus David Tooker will continue on for the rest of the season. It's going to be great.
Yeah, but now we've got one. But both of these guys, they're not going to win tonight, and that's what they came here for. They came here to win. You would think personal animosity would kind of not get in the way of that, but.
Yeah, all this, they've been getting each other back, but they've been damaging their own cars in the process.
Yeah, and one thing I will say is if you're Tooker, when you get into a guy twice, you kind of got, like, especially for a win at Martinsville, and then you go to Chicago, and you get into him again when he was just trying to race you hard. I mean, you got the better of him at Martinsville. You got the win. He didn't. You did what you had to do. I just don't think getting into him last week was good, because I don't know that before last week Scott was going to get into him. Scott was frustrated. He was going to race him hard. But then to get into him and turn him sideways last week, all that did was just light a fuel, inside of Crump, and we saw it here tonight, where he just got to him and he turned him. And I really think when you get into somebody, just because you apologize doesn't make it better, okay? Especially when you do it on purpose. It's not like Tooker can say, "Well, I didn't mean to hit you for that Martinsville win. He meant to hit him." And then the same thing last week. He can't say, "I didn't mean to hit you at Chicago," because he meant to hit him. So it's one of those things where you got into that guy a couple times, and when it comes back, I just don't think you can overreact as much as Tooker has, and you can't maybe not overreact, but maybe you can't expect that guy to not be pissed off. All right, that guy's going to be frustrated, and if you can't understand that, and you don't want that to come back, maybe don't move a guy out of the way, and a couple weeks in a row there,
Yeah, I think I'm thinking this one will maybe continue on for a while. I mean, one guy thinks he gets even, the other guy thinks, "Oh no, we're not even. I got to get him back," and it just keeps on going back and forth. And
we saw it. We've seen it play out in the Cup Series too. Nick, you were involved in a deal with RC there. You went to Michigan and you got junked by a mistake that RC made, trying to be maybe a little bit too aggressive at that point in the race. And then the very next week, I can't. Do you remember where it was, Nick? The very next week, Watkins Glen, right? He jumped you for the lead at Watkins Glen, just drove over top of you, made an aggressive move, and it came back. You were able to catch a caution and you spun him out. You got into him and said you'd had enough. When you are out here banging doors with people, it is going to come back if you are going to initiate contact with a guy.
The only thing that I'm wondering before we put a cap on this before the restart, we saw in the Cup Series a few weeks ago, somebody pretty frustrated with the move that happened to them, and they went back and intent wrecked them and got kicked from the server. So I'm just kind of wondering why the 19 is able to finish out here. It goes and intentionally wrecks the 90, takes a bunch of other guys out, and they're gonna let him stay. But that's just my 2 cents.
This is kind of reminiscent of what we just seen in the real life Cup race too. AJ and Ross were. Oh, Green's out here. Sorry, I was not caught up. Josh gets another great start. Looks like Weeks did not get the memo on that one. Might lose the spot here to RC.
Oh, we got a wreck back here. Somebody almost lost it.
RC's going to move back into second.
It's like Chad Brinkerfield almost got turned by Robin, taking it 3 wide down there. We got a big pack for the lead right now. Weeks is trying to get to the outside of Josh. Looks like he's going to hang there and do it.
I'm very surprised that Josh let him get to his outside.
Yeah, Matthew's got the momentum off of turn 4 here. He's got the preferred line going down into turn 1. See, is Josh going to run down through the bumps, or is Matthew going to let him run that second lane? Josh gets loose.
Yeah, I think he hit those bumps, got upset the car. How about Robert Hill up here in 6th place? Started 33rd up to 6th. Looking to crack the top 5.
So we've been highlighting the rivalry between Tooker and Crump. We've got How About Josh and Tyler here running 2nd and 3rd. And we're still waiting on Josh to get even on that one.
That day will never come.
Is this late enough in the race where Josh feels like he could potentially take a win away from Tyler?
I don't think so. Josh has got a shot to win this race. I don't think we'll ever see Josh get even with Tyler Fody.
Ethan Burrell looking to make the pass on RC here. Slide up.
He's got a lapped car coming up here. Is he going to get out of the way?
Yeah, how about 6th, 7th, and 8th? I mean, we got Robert Hill, started 33rd. David Westergreen, I don't even know where he came from, up there in 7th. Trying to make the pass on Robert for 6th. And then right behind them, Joey Chapman, Dustin Dewar, Josh Robin, talking about him earlier. A lot of new faces up here in the top 10.
And you got Chad Frankenfield coming through there. He's on a little bit newer tires. If he's the first car that has pitted and is sure that he can go on fuel. I think there's still maybe a slight question if these guys can go, but we've had a couple, 2 or 3 cautions. I think they're feeling pretty good about it without a green-white checker.
Actually, I think from that last restart, Josh Robin might be the first one that has the fuel over Chad.
Josh is trying to work over Tyler Fody, but he just can't do it. You can definitely tell that Josh is a little better than Tyler Fody, but the pass is just so hard to make that pass.
And we got Joey Chapman making the pass back here on Robert Hill for 7th. Almost a little contact. We can go 3 wide. Oh, contact. Robert Hill got the short end of that stick, having a great run, and a little 3 wide contact sends him in the fence.
This race is taking on the look tonight of a short track. Lots of beating and banging, lots of getting even. I don't know. What's the score right now between Tooker and Crump, you think?
I think, as you said earlier, it's not even, so it's probably going to go on to next week and the weeks after that, and we'll have to see if the officials step in.
I don't know. I think if you ask them both, I think Tooker might say it's even, but I don't think Crump sees it the same way.
If any officials watching this or sees this later, let this play out. We want to see it. We need more rivalries in Elite.
Josh is really trying to do something different, running a little bit higher than Tyler. I think he knows he needs to get around him quick because 37's coming up there, and all running behind the 11 here. We know how good Josh was on the long run, and how the 11 not so much. And if he starts slowing everybody down and bringing everybody back into this fight, it's who knows who's going to come out on top. And
yeah, it might get to the point where Josh might need to get into the back of Fody.
Oh, wrecking back here. Chad Frankenfield on the wall. Gets into Trey Holmes, sends him around.
Tooker. Oh, who was that late? Unbelievable with some of these ARCA breaks.
And 29, Trevor Elam involved. Tooker's involved back there.
That's the 06 there. That's ridiculous to come into the wreck that late, that fast. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Chad got on the wall and then bounced off the wall and got into Trey down there.
yeah, Trey ran him up pretty high, and I don't know. Chad got up on the wall. He didn't want him that close.
Thought it was just going to be a 2-car incident, but a lot of these guys piled in there. Tooker, the 8, Josh Robin, Trevor Elam, the 7. I saw him up front earlier. 06.
Yeah, there's no excuse for what the 06 did right there. That's just inexcusable. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you see, if you go back and ride with him coming out of turn 2, you see the entire wreck playing out up ahead of you going into turn 3, and he looks down. He's gonna pass 6 or 7 cars, it looks like, before he gets to the wreck, and it's all just right there. And night over for the 06, but that one's on him. He would have just slowed down and let it play out. He would have gained about 15 spots just because of the crash.
Yeah, there's really no excuse for getting into a wreck that late.
I don't know. A lot of guys they just want to see the yellow flag displayed in the the corner by iRacing before they slow down, and people just try and keep racing so they can go up and get a couple spots before that yellow happens. But that's
Well,
the
we can
result.
look and see when the yellow lights came on. The yellow light comes on. He comes on way early back here before he even pulls out to the bottom. The yellow light switches on. So that yellow light was on, and he is still going full throttle. Just ridiculous. That's something where I think he needs a talking to by an official. That's something you just don't do. That's disappointing to see in a league race someone do something like that. I mean, if you look, Chad's car wasn't. I mean, it was pretty. Had some pretty good damage on the right side, but the car wasn't destroyed until the 06 just comes in and just clobbers him.
But something to keep an eye on here. The leader Andrew Rucker stayed out under this caution. The 98 of Justin Fortner also. So the front row is on older tires here.
So, what are you guys thinking? My pick to win still in this thing, but he is not having good go of it on pit road and got stuck there in third, and then they had to pit again, and now he's back to 7th. Your guy's out of it, right, Jake? That 9 car's been in a couple wrecks.
Yeah, his night went from bad to worse there a couple of cautions ago. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this is going to work for the 64 and the 98. If Rucker can get going and get single file and those guys start racing, is the clean air going to be enough? Or I don't know. I just don't see it.
Yeah, and once again, I'm going to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, everybody at Elite Racing Network. These broadcasts, tonight on Monday nights here in the Mrs. Goody's Grand National Series couldn't happen without our producer Ryan Gavel. Couldn't happen without Chad Frankenfield and all he does for Elite and all the different races he runs every night. All our partners, C2 Freight, Blue Egg Marketing, Powerhouse Recycling. Where's Jeff Green at tonight? Let's get a little bit of a C2 Freight update going on here. Looks like he is 13th. It's probably going to be hard to win from there, but he's got a shot. Especially with some of the things we've seen go on this race. So we got Rucker and we got Fortner. Like you guys have brought up already. They've stayed out.
Yeah, we've got 25 laps to go, and we've got them over the radio saying they're not going to fight anybody. Kind of, I don't know if you're going to do this.
Fight. 98
just
might not
late
fight.
in the race. You need to be up there to try and win the race, not just for the position.
Yeah, don't stay out if you're going to try to roll out of the way. Here we go. Rucker's going. Gets a great start.
Yeah, I really think that quick caution we were talking about earlier when they took tires, I think Rucker put himself in a box here. I mean, he took that second set. He might have took only rights, but, he might be staying out here in order to catch back up to these guys, get back on the same page with the tires.
We got the 98 in the wall. He's struggling. So I don't know if you're gonna do that, not to stay up there. You should just roll through pit road and start in the back, because he almost caused an issue for these front runners here.
Josh is taking a look under Fody, maybe going to try to trap him up there behind Rucker. Oh, contact! Josh is in with Fody, and Josh is around. Josh, Fody, big wreck.
Like, I don't know if that was like some netcode initially. I don't know if Josh got the bumps down there and then netcode kind of initiated that, or
Oh yeah, that was a pretty big netcode. They were pretty far apart when that contact registered.
Yeah, I think so watching that, I agree with Chris on that. I think he drove it in there pretty hard to stay alongside of him. He knew Rucker was on old tires, and that outside line was going to slow down, and just got in there a little too hot. Well, 2 seasons in a row, Josh Adams, the dominant car of the day, isn't gonna take the win at Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they might have made contact regardless, but I just don't know at that point in the corner if Josh is still coming up. That net code registered. You can look at the left front of Fody, and you see when that contact registers, and it
Yeah.
just pulls Josh up. That was a pretty big piece of net code there.
It's unfortunate for guys like Joey Chapman right here, David Westergreen riding on board. I mean, guys are having good runs and then just get caught up in something like that.
Yeah, there's a good, 1.5 foot between those cars when the contact registers?
And so David Westergreen, different number, still can't break that curse. 12 car actually made it through that wreck, I think. So maybe the curse isn't the 12. This might be the start of the break of the curse. Hey, you guys see who's 5th place?
Garrison Hogan.
Does he have time to make those passes?
I don't know. We'll see.
We've got even a bigger shout out here. Somebody you don't normally see in the top 5. How about the 32 at Dustin Dewar?
Yeah, good solid night for him.
It's kind of just popped up out of nowhere.
We
Jeff
got
Green made
Vincent
it
up
inside
there.
the top 10.
Yeah, we got Vincent up there. Got Barbieri, got Zach Evans, Michael Goodman, Richard Hines, Robert Hill Jr., all in the top 15.
And we talked earlier about Evans moving up to 25th, 26th, and he's up there in 12th right now.
Just bring it back to the conversation we were having earlier about can these guys make it on fuel, and thinking that there wasn't going to be any cautions. It kind of turned into a caution fest here, and it's kind of changed everything. 20 to go. We've got 2 Pro Edge guys, 1st and 2nd. RC 3rd.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be tough to beat these guys on the front row. We will see what happens. Anything can happen. So Garrison, like Nick said, is back up there. That's the big guy to watch. We know he's got pace.
I don't know. It's going to be a tough battle to the finish, I think. I don't think we've seen our last yellow. I don't know about you, Jake, but, I think there's a lot of... Ethan's been strong all night. Weeks has been up there all night. RC's been in contention. New faces up there. Should be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of these guys using their bumpers. It's going to be, I think it's probably going to be a fight to the end here.
interesting. Weeks is taking the outside here. I think he's trying to help out teammate Ethan Burrell. Kind of wondering though, when does that go out the window? I mean, when do you try to stop helping your teammate here? When you got to kind of do it, for yourself?
Well, we'll find out here. See just how well they coordinate this. It doesn't look like Ethan got going real well on the bottom, so.
Yeah.
Look at Garrison.
Garrison's gonna take him 3.
I think Garrison had envisioned trying to get the second place right there.
He's gonna have the preferred line down here in 3 and 4 too. See if he can clear for 3rd.
Weeks with the little bobble there, late exit of 4. We're going to be side by side for the lead down here into turn 1. Ooh, looks like Ethan maybe lifted out. He did not want to run through the bumps. Weeks leads over Ethan Burrell and RC Enerson. Have we seen the last yellow, you guys think?
I don't think we have. There's some scores still to be settled out here, and I don't know. There's the way it kind of turned after we had that long green run earlier. It's kind of got a caution feel to it. Everybody's kind of strung out now, so it might be wrong.
At the 12 of Vincent Isabella cracking the top 5, passing 32, Dustin Dewar. See Jeff Green coming in the back of the picture there behind David Westergreen for 8th.
Another shout out again to Dustin Dewar. I think these races get broadcast live at Memory Lane's Bowling Alley. So if you're at a Memory Lane's Bowling Alley and you're watching Dustin, it's running P6 right now. Your guys doing pretty good.
Just 15 to go here from Las Vegas.
Got Matthew Weeks pulling away here.
Jeff Green just got into the side of, I think that's David Westergreen a little bit. I think Jeff drove down into 1 and said that he was going to take that spot, and really didn't matter what Westergreen thought about it.
This right here, the distance we have to the end is about as long as we saw Matthew be able to ride right on the 56's bumper earlier before he started getting driven away from. So I think Matthew has the pace to stay up front here. Some of these guys that might be a little better on the long run.
Ethan trying to shorten the dog leg up there on the front stretch a little bit. Dog leg, tri-oval, whatever. He's cutting that apron big time right now. Nick, I think your pick's running out of laps. He's going to have to try to make something happen here for 4th. I just don't see him being able to do it without a yellow. That's 3 pretty solid guys in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like on these shorter runs, everybody's kind of, right on top of each other. It's hard to pass, but if you do a better job saving your tires and you get a longer run, I think that's when the opportunities pop up.
Yeah, and right now, if you're Weeks, you're just saying, I don't want to caution. Let this thing run green.
Garrison's looking to the outside of the 50. He knows if he's going to have any shot, he needs to get this 50 now.
Jeff Green just moved up another spot behind him as well to P6.
Oh, he sailed it down in there. It's like RC kind of just gave that to him. I guarantee you, though, these two teammates up here, if he gets to them, they won't be that easy to pass.
Yeah,
Ready to
add
go.
Garrison to that mix. I think he's not driving the same manufacturer, but I believe he's really good friends with Matthew and Ethan. So we've got three friends battling this thing out and see how they take care of each other.
Well, I know Matthew and he wants to win, and I know Ethan and he wants to win. I don't think either one's interested in helping the other. I don't know Garrison that well, but I don't think that they're going to make it easy for him because I think Ethan thinks he could pass Matthew, and Matthew thinks he could stay out front.
Yeah, and he was over a tenth quicker than both of them right here, so he's going to have to make quick work of Ethan Burrell if he's going to have a shot at the leader.
I don't want to speak for you guys, but we've the three of us up here tonight have been racing each other across consoles and sims for the better part of a decade or more, and there's nobody you want to race harder than your teammates and your friends, so it's probably pretty fun for these guys right now.
Yeah, but there's no worse feeling than wrecking a teammate and a friend, and I think we've all done that a time or two. You want to race hard because you know that guy and you know you can, but at the same time, you don't want to do something that wrecks one or both of you.
Hogan tried that high line in 3 and 4. Didn't get quite the run he wanted, though. A little bit, but I think he was looking for a little more than that.
Garrison, good run through 1 and 2 that time. He's not going to be able to stick to his quarter panel for 3. The laps are ticking away. Matthew's liking what he's seeing.
Lap car dives out of the way. Josh Personette down there. But yeah, I mean, Ethan's playing good teammate right now, trying to hold him off as long as he can. I think Hogan's a little better.
Garrison goes to the bottom of 3 and 4 here. Ethan Burrell missed the bottom a little bit.
He's going to have another run at him here for second and 1 and 2.
I think he's got to make it happen this time. If he can't make it happen this time, he's going to clip the apron. That's Garrison's shot, I think, right there. I think he needed to make it happen that time. I think unless this race has another yellow, I think Weeks has got this thing wrapped up.
He's two tenths of a second quicker than the 37 last lap, so he's
Oh, we got a wreck here on
we've
the
got a wreck
backstretch.
up with Josh
Adams.
involved.
Exactly what I just said.
And he's sitting in the infield.
Ooh, it looks like the 96 just turned left there on Josh Adams.
Somebody in the audience right there is getting front row view, staring right into the cockpit down there. Getting a lot of smoke in the face too. I don't know if they might want to get out of there, but.
Well, do you pit?
I'm always a fan if you've got them, use them, but we're gonna see what a green-white checker here. And I don't know.
I don't think you can. I think
Vincent Isabella, Jeff Green, Rucker. Wow, we've got a mixed bag, boys. I don't think pitting's the call. I think we're going to see a surprise winner.
that was a hard hit for 56 right there. Did a bunch of cartwheels, landed down there, giving some fans, some
I
carbon
cannot
monoxide.
believe the front four just pitted. Unbelievable.
96 got in the wall a little bit, and then it's like he was trying to make the pass on 28 and just didn't realize Josh was down there and thought 56 was giving more room, but 56 did a little kick flip.
Yeah, I think definitely if I'm the 11, I stay out right there and let everybody else make the decision behind me. And I don't think too many cars stayed out here. I don't think they're gonna have time.
They're going to restart outside the top 10.
Just the
And
way. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Jake.
I would say because of that, they're restarting outside the top 10. I think we'll probably use our second green white checker. I don't think this is going to be the only one. Those guys are going to want to get taken off pretty quick, and these guys up here in the top 10 are going to be pretty slow taking off. So we'll see.
Yeah, just I feel like whenever you get a late race caution like this after pretty decent run, I mean, I think if you're running up there, I don't think you can pit. I mean, the way I've always seen it playing out is you got guys back there that just stay out, and one of them ends up stealing the win because you can't close it out under green and recover all the spots that you lost getting tires down there. I just don't think it's going to work for Weeks and Burrell and RC and all those guys.
They will restart 13th on back. Matthew Weeks will be 13th. But listen, I don't want to pick a favorite, all right? I don't want to say we want this, we want that. But everything that C2 Freight has done, the sponsorship that they bring to Elite and really help us out and getting these broadcasts going and whatnot, it sure would be a cool story if Jeff Green won this race. But at the same time, Vincent Isabella be a great story too. I mean, this really opened it up for some, Andrew Rucker's the only guy up there that, maybe we expect to see at the very front every week, and he runs up at the front every week.
Well,
Zach Evans, David Carpenter.
We might be about to break the curse of the 12. We're a couple laps away from finding out.
Man, imagine the stream content if Zach Evans wins this race. I know he's the biggest, probably the most popular streamer in the series. I mean, I can only imagine the content he's going to have out there on Twitch and his Twitter feed if he ends up winning this thing.
Looks like Vincent's going to take the top.
Yeah, Zach Evans. He's a very popular driver out here. He's drives with a lot of respect. I don't know anybody that doesn't like racing around Zach Evans, and I know I've always enjoyed racing around him. He'll give you plenty of room, and I don't know, seeing him lining up here fourth, it's a good guy I'd like to see take it to victory lane.
We need like some kind of dual broadcast going on because we need to watch this battle for the lead. But they're going to be 3 and 4 wide back there where Weeks and Burrell. Like we need this is going to be insane at different points in the field.
Yeah, I would put money on it that we have not seen our last caution. We might even use all 3 attempts, I think. Green, white, checkered.
Like I said, though, it'd be a cool story if C2 Freight can get their trip to victory lane tonight.
I'm surprised that Vincent taking the outside here, too. I mean, we saw Weeks do it to help out Burrell, but...
Maybe he's a friend of Zach's, maybe.
Could be.
But here we go. He's got control. The pace car's off. He's gone. Going to get a great jump.
We got 3 wide for fourth back here.
I've got Andrew Rucker making a power move around the 38.
They're 3 wide back there in the middle.
There.
Them boys on tires are trying to come through. Are we going to get to the white flag? It looks like we are. White flag is out. 1 lap to go from Las Vegas.
Vincent's just got to hold on for another 3/4 of a lap here. I don't think Rucker's close enough to do anything unless Vincent messes up here in the last corner.
Big battles behind him. Big guys jumping out of line. Rucker's going to send it down into 3. Rucker's going to miss turn 3.
He hit the apron. It might cost him second. Jeff Green
We're
might
gonna
get it.
come
Oh,
on turn 4.
Oh,
And
it's going to
Vincent
cost him.
Isabella is going to win.
Oh, it's going to
Oh,
cost him
Jeff
third.
Green,
How about that?
big
Zach
wreck
Evans
behind him there
third at
for
the
third.
line.
Oh, this is huge. We got catch fence cars. We got everything going on. But the party is going to be with Vincent Isabella. What a win. The late race yellows bring it home for him there. But, Jeff Green in second. Zach Evans. Rucker. Garrison Hogan got the 5th on his new tires. Weeks in 6th. RC ends up 10th. Fody comes back to 11th after the spin we saw him have. Not sure what happened here to Ethan Burrell. I'm not seeing Ethan Burrell. Where did he end up? There he is, 8th. Everybody is giving little bumps here to Vince Isabella. What a pit call there. Staying out when all those guys at the front pitted, and we were even surprised, didn't understand why they had pitted there, but maybe, it would have worked out if 3 or 4 more cars would have pitted. That's just the gamble you take.
yeah, I think this is going to be a really popular win. Really popular top 3 overall. Vincent Isabella, Jeff Green, Zach Evans. I mean,
You're going to get to talk to a few guys that you don't really get to talk to a whole lot. It's going to be a refreshing podium here.
I don't know. I would have loved to have heard from Scott Crump tonight. All right, we are joined by P3 tonight. Zach Evans finished 3rd. Zach, take us through your night, what it took to get you here, and does this feel like a win to you getting up here and coming to talk to us this week?
It 100% feels like a win, especially after I qualified like 57th. I can't even believe I ended up in a position to be up here, honestly. I used up my tires way too quick. That's the only reason I stayed out there at the end, was I didn't have any tires, and it just worked out that everybody got so tied up fighting behind me that I was able to just hang out with Vincent and Rucker and Jeff Green, and then Rucker bounced off the wall coming to the line, and I wasn't lifting. I dug as hard as I could to beat him there, and if it was a real car, I probably would have had to get airlifted out of here. But it's a video game, and I finished 3rd, and I don't have to fix it.
All right, Zach, Jacob Adams here in the ERN booth. We were talking about you before that restart. You're always one of the funnest, cleanest guys to race with out there, and we were having a conversation about your broadcasting. Were you live streaming for that finish?
I wasn't. I haven't been live streaming a lot lately because I've got, ever since that last update, the graphics are screwy on my end. It looks fine when I'm racing, but when I take screenshots or whatever, it looks awful. So I've got to figure that out before I can start streaming again. That would have been a heck of a view.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of fun. Good job there. It's really cool to see that 6 car coming through 3rd place here. Couldn't be happier for you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Nick, anything you want to ask Zach here before we let him go?
oh, I wasn't sure if you guys were going to throw anything else in there. Yeah, man, we were talking about you earlier in the race being the biggest mover. You were, started 36. We talked about you when you were, I think you were like 24th or so at the time. Be like, hey, he's moving up through the field. But man, yeah, great run. Nice to be able to talk to you up here. How you feeling for Indy next week in the oval, not the road course?
I'll be honest, I hadn't even thought that far ahead yet. In fact, I was joking with Anthony Ludi, of course, my teammate in voice, that if UNC goes and wins their basketball game on Saturday night, I might skip next Monday. I've got to pick between a national championship and an Xfinity race. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, alrighty, Zach. Before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give, sponsors you want to thank for everything they helped do to get you on the track? And man, I don't know if you can skip after a podium. Got to come back and try to get 2 in a row, right?
I know that puts me in a real tough spot. If I'd finished 35th tonight, that would have been a lot easier decision. But yeah, obviously got to thank all the guys at Wally Racing. Anthony, of course, working with him tonight. Thanks to everybody up front, running me. I know Rucker got the tally on that last lap deal, and I get they had to call that, but I mean that's coming to the checkered flag. That is what it is. Other than that, it was super fun racing with all these guys, super clean all night, or at least around me it was. And of course, got to give a shout out to Lentz Creative Design for painting this beautiful car, or at least it was beautiful until we crossed the finish line. And give a shout out to Me Fine. Obviously, I've always got Me Fine on the car, and it's super good to get them some TV time, and always thinking about what we can do to help them, help families in need here in North Carolina. So awesome.
All right, Zach. Good luck next week. Congrats on the run, and you ain't gonna miss. You'll be here next week. We'll see you next week.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
All right, we're joined by P2 Jeff Green. Jeff, there on the green white checkered. I was hoping you'd put that C2 freight machine up there in Victory Lane, and we know they do a lot for the league. Take us through your night and everything that led to you getting to score that second place finish.
Well, thanks. It was a good run for me. This is the first race all season that I'm able to come home with a 0X. So pretty happy with that. Not to be able to have damage and not have to fix it throughout the race, but just I don't know. I got to figure out how to run fast on short runs. I can't do that. I can run faster. Seemed like I saved too much tire, and I'm better on the longer runs. But third then, of course, we didn't have a long run, so but it's good. It was a good night for us. Just happy for C2 to give a little more publicity, and they do a lot for our league, so I'm glad for them, and they mean a lot to me. So glad for them, and just it was good night for me. I like Las Vegas a lot. These Xfinity cars are a lot of fun to drive. So just fun. Wished I got up there to knock on Vince. I was running down under that green flag there right with 5 or so to go, and I don't know if I could have passed him or not, but I was going to be satisfied with the sixth place finish. But with the green white checker, was able to stay out on those old tires and hold those other guys off. So it was a good night for us.
Yeah, talking about those old tires and that restart there, talk us through the mindset, the decision to stay out and hold those guys off, and what went into that.
I really didn't think the guys in front of us would pit. To tell you the truth, there was I don't know how many. There was a lot of cars on the lead lap, so I knew with just basically 2 laps to run, I felt like that we could hold all the guys off. They would be too far back, and I'm not sure, but I think 13th or 14th is where they restarted. So it's a lot of cars to pass in just 2 laps. So I felt pretty confident. Vince rode really quick. I mean, he got off to when the green flag when he started the race. It was really quick, so I think that got us a little bit more lead than those guys back there trying to get up through there. So that was a mindset. I didn't really know what to expect, but with just 2 laps, I felt like the old tires would be cold enough and have enough grip to where we could run pretty much wide open and be able to stay up there.
Yeah, Jeff, we saw you earlier in the season go out and get a couple poles, be really good in qualifying. So it's nice to be talking to you after a whole race. Got to put the whole thing together. But
Yeah.
anybody you want to thank tonight?
Well, I just like to thank C2 and Goody do good motorsports. We have a lot of fun on Discord throughout the race, and those guys are really competitive. They make me laugh every night. Every night we race together. So thank them and Goody and those guys that put this together, and of course the elite for what they do. It's a lot of fun to come in here and on Monday night and Wednesday nights when I race with them, and it's just relaxing sometimes. Wednesday nights races are pretty intense, but because of the car we're driving. But these races, these Xfinity cars, are so much fun to drive, and seem like they're more realistic than anything that I've driven before. So just thank those guys, and appreciate everybody racing. Everybody raced really hard and clean. That's what it's all about.
All right, Jeff. Well, before we let you go, I was looking back at your race, and I just realized you were right behind Scott Crump and David Tooker when that all went down. Take us through what was going through your mind, and if you had any idea of what was coming.
Well, I didn't. I didn't know they had history. I mean, Crump's, bless his heart, is internet's not really good, I guess, and he lags a lot, and his car really moves around a lot. So I'm aggravated every time I'm behind him trying to pass him because it seems like his car's it's just not in the same, in the place that you think it's going to be. It moves around too much. But I didn't know they had that history, and I guess they got each other later on in the race too. But just lucky that Tooker straightened it out. I thought, I was going to hit him in the door if he didn't get it straight. So I got lucky there and was able to get through there. And I don't know. This is a game, and but it's still competitive as heck. So everybody sits in their seat. They want to win, and I'm one of them. So if when it gets not competitive, that's when I'm gonna quit doing it. So it's still fun, but you want to win every time you get out here. You want to lead every lap. You want to be the best you can each and every lap. So that's what I'm driving for.
Well, all right, Jeff. We'll let you get out of here, and I don't think that story's over just yet. I think that's still got some chapters to write.
Yeah, maybe I should watch out if I'm behind them again, huh?
All right.
Yeah.
Congrats on the run tonight. It was cool to see C2 Freight showing up at the front.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. See you guys.
All right. We're now joined by the race winner, Vincent Isabella. Vincent, take us through your night, everything that put you in position there to win the race, and how surprised you were when everybody pitted there for that green-white checker.
Well, it started with qualifying like crap, then didn't realize it was a short countdown, so I started from pit road. And yeah, just a little bit of strategy there. I burned my last set of tires with like 35 to go, so had to just hold on.
And we've heard a lot through the history of Elite, the 12 car potentially being trebled. Does this win potentially turn around that luck? And is the 12 car a car people should want to drive now?
Oh, this is my number now. Nobody's driving it, but yeah. I mean, I guess the 12 car curse is over. They told me I had to win with it to get it to be over with that. And well, here we are. Was sitting 7th in points before tonight, so.
Yeah, Vincent, I think this is gonna be a really popular win. Nice to see you finally get one. Um, Breaking that curse in the 12 car. I think Westergreen might be happy about that. But yeah, anybody you want to give a shout out to? Thanks tonight. And how much are you looking forward towards Indy next week?
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that at all, but glad I'm locked in. Definitely got to thank Mrs. Goody's Goodies, obviously, on the car this year. Fresh Scheme, Home Place Beer Company, always has supported me, and all the boys at Lake Norman. That was the 50th win in Elite for Lake Norman, so.
Well, it was cool to see you get that win, and the top three tonight were all guys that we don't get to talk to very much. So hopefully, all of y'all can come back up here and see us again. You did move up here to, I believe, 8th place in the overall points. So the win was nice, but you were already having a pretty solid season points wise. So heading into next week, got that win. You gonna try to make a run here at the regular season championship, or you think you're too far behind for that?
I don't know. I guess I'll have to look at it and see. I mean, obviously that's the goal. The goal is to win championships, not just races. So that'll be the end goal. Definitely a huge shout out to Zach Evans. What a run by him.
Well, alrighty, we'll let you get out of here and go celebrate with the boys. Maybe throw a few back. It's gonna be a big party tonight, right?
We got another race after this, man.
Okay. Well, we'll let you get out of here and go win another race, right? You're gonna go win at Texas, so
Gonna go try to do the two-step.
that's right. Go get you a cowboy hat. You look way better drinking those beers after you win
Yep.
in a cowboy hat. So we'll see you next week, Vincent, and good luck tonight at Texas and the rest of the season.
Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
Well, we saw a little bit of everything tonight at Las Vegas. I did not expect coming into a mile and a half to see guys taking swings at each other. I expected a little bit more clean racing than what we got, but I mean, it was exciting. It was a good race. Maybe the best race all season because I mean, we saw lots of stuff happen at Martinsville, but we couldn't run green there. So Lots of craziness tonight, but we got to see a green-white checkered and a new winner. We got to see some different guys run up front. What are you guys thinking heading into next week in Indy?
Well, Indianapolis is always a place, no matter what car, what track configuration you're running, it's always a place you want to win at. So should be just as action packed next week. Everybody's going to want to kiss the bricks and look forward to seeing if the 90 and the 19 continue on next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how that boils over. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna carry over somewhere. We'll still come up. Might not be next race, but I think before the end of the season, we'll probably see that come into play again. But yeah, I mean, Indy is a good track. I mean, it seems to me like if you're good at Indy, you're good at Indy no matter what car you're in. It's just a track. Once you have it figured out, I think you're gonna be good there. So be interesting to see who's the master of the oval.
Well, all right, before we get out of here, I want to give a shout out to everybody that helps make this happen. Ryan Gavel, Chad Frankenfield, everybody at the Elite Racing Network, and give a shout out to the Mrs. Goodies Grand National Series. Mrs. Goodies is the series sponsor. All our partners at C2 Freight got them a top 3 podium tonight. Got to have Jeff come in and talk to him about his night. Everybody at Blue Egg Marketing and Powerhouse Recycling. This doesn't happen without all these great sponsors and all these great producers that we have to help bring these broadcasts to YouTube. We'll be back with you next week, like Nick said, and we've been talking about at Indianapolis, and it might be a caution-free race. It might be a big throwdown. We don't know what we're going to get there when we get there. We know we got a short track coming up in a couple weeks, so if everything's not figured out by then, when we go to Lucas Oil Raceway, we'll for sure see some beating and banging there. But you have to come back and tune in next week to see how the next chapter is written in the Scott Crump and David Tooker rivalry.